What's going on, people, and welcome to my all-time top 10 goalkeepers. Now, this one actually got voted for on the poll in the community. This one got the most votes. I'm going to let my missus pick the next one because I promised her that she could pick the next top 10 I do. So the next one I'm going to let her pick, and then back after that I'm going to put the polls up again for you guys to get involved again. But thank you for everyone that voted on this one, and it is top 10 all-time goalkeepers. In at number 10, Oliver Kahn. Feisty individual, took no prisoners, you could see when he played, wasn't afraid to be vocal in goal and tell his teammates what he thought of them. And just an imposing presence, I think, in between the sticks. A leader on the pitch, I believe. Great for Bayern Munich over the years as well. He wasn't your modern day keeper. He was more of your old school. Like, he wouldn't be playing it out from the back really and doing that sort of thing. But in terms of shot stopping and just being a physical presence in the goal and being intimidating to strikers and such, because of how he was, I think he really got into some players' heads to the benefit of his team. The only criticism I would say of him is that he should have won something with his country. I do think he should have done a bit more on the international scene with them, but it is what it is. But a great keeper and one that I remember growing up, and he looked scary all the time on the pitch, like you didn't want to mess with him. Oliver Kahn, number 10. Number 9, a current goalkeeper, one that's been at Manchester United for a long time now. He looks a little bit rough around the edges at the beginning, but it was very understandable because he was young. It was new to the Premier League, and it took him a while to adapt to it, but he has. And I think that he's been our man of the season this year, and has been over other seasons as well, and won several trophies with the club as well, and would be my pick for the captaincy, and that is David De Gea. I think this season that's just gone, he kept us in so many games, and it's probably a reason to why we finished as high up as we did, even though it's probably a bit of an underachievement with the squad we've got. The rest of the squad didn't really perform to what they could have, but I think countless times he was man of the match this season, and for me, easily was our player of the season. And as I said, I think he's still top 5 keepers in the world, even though he's at United and they're going through what they're going through. So, David De Gea, number 9. Number 8, David Seaman, a legend for growing up for me, one of my favourites, even though he played for a rival in Arsenal. I always remember his tears after the Ronaldinho free kick in 2002, but that's kind of one of them freak things that sometimes just happen. But a phenomenal keeper, very good at Euro 96. Saved a penalty against Spain, didn't he? And I think he went to the penalties and come out on top for that. And from what I've heard of him, very positive guy when you see him on podcasts and interviews and things. Very positive, and is one of them guys that you'd love to have as a friend because he just lifts your spirits. And from what I've heard of his teammates, he was just so calm all the time. He could be in high pressure situations like World Cup games, like European games, and he'd be the calmest man in the dressing room. And that is what you need in your keeper. You need them to come up when they're asked upon, which he did several times. And he's calm, though. He's not panicking. There's going to be a few in that dressing room that are bouncing around everywhere with nerves, and he was just calm and collected and performed. And you need that. It's vital in a squad. So David Seaman, a legend, and probably, in my opinion, the second best all-time Premier League keeper. But this is my worldwide. But David Seaman, number 8. Number 7, Iker Casillas. A guy that I recently put in the Champions League 11 Immortals lineup. He was my keeper for that, simply because of the amount of Champions Leagues he won at such a young age as well. And one of the worldwide keepers that I think will go down in history in the memories of football fans, because they would have grown up with him or they would have seen clips of him if they're a bit younger. Quality keeper, and what a career he had. The amount of titles he won was phenomenal. One with his country as well, with the Euros and the World Cup. Very quick, got his angles covered all the time, reactions, he had the lot, and he was doing it from a very young age as well, breaking into that Madrid team and winning what he did at that age. Like I said, you have to have someone in the sticks that can handle that, and he definitely could at such a young age, so he has to make the list, and he's my Champions League all-time keeper as well, and that is Iker Casillas at number 7. Coming in at number 6, another current keeper, and one that just won the Euros, and that is Donnarumma. The guy is a giant in the goal. He makes the goal look smaller just for the size of himself. The wingspan on him must be ridiculous. He looks more like a basketball player. I think he was a pivotal player in that final against England. In the shootout, he was very calm. He had a brilliant tournament as well, like very few mistakes from him. He's so young as well still. He's got years ahead of him, and I think he's arguably top 3 in the world already. And I think he will be number 1 at some point if you don't consider him number 1 right now. So for me, he has to be on this list, even though he's still young, got a whole lot of years ahead of him. Just how good he is already and the size of him, and he performs on a consistent basis. The only thing I would put into question is that he's at PSG and he gets rotated quite a lot from what I'm hearing. I don't really watch PSG, but I hear that he gets rotated with the other keeper quite a lot. So he kind of needs to be starting every game to get even more of that experience, even though he's quite experienced already, just to enhance his potential that he has already. So for me, Donnarumma has to make the list. European Championship winner as well recently, and a vital cog in that Italian team. So Donnarumma, number 6. Number 5, Petr Cech. Vital for that Chelsea team under Mourinho's first stint. Brave, not the best at playing out from the back, but he had that stature in the goal and that presence that you need, and come up with clutch saves at important times in games and help them win what they did at the time, and had a great career, long career. And I even thought he did well at Arsenal, even though they struggled. I think he still did his part on his side. And a phenomenal keeper, and one that probably go down in all-time Premier League keepers for me, for sure. So Petr Cech, number 5. Number 4, Manuel Neuer. Kind of revolutionised goalkeeping, changed how it is in terms of a ball-playing goalkeeper. You see the likes of Edison now doing it, and a few others that try and do it, but Neuer was the first one to do it, really, and change how goalkeeping is. And I think we get better on the eye football because of it, and they might mess up a bit more now because they're trying to do that as well. But the thought is there, and he's to answer for it. He was the first one to sort of change that and bring it in. Multiple winner as well with his club, with Bayern. We'll have to remain and wait and see if he's going to win anything with Germany, because this World Cup might be his last international tournament, just because I know he's getting on a little bit now in age. It'd be interesting to see. I feel like he's another one similar to Khan that could probably have done a bit better with his country. And I'm not saying it's down to them, but with a quality keeper like them two, I think like they deserve to be winning tournaments. And for me, Neuer could easily win a World Cup or a Euros, because he is good enough for me. So Manuel Neuer, number 4. Number 3, Edwin van der Sar. One that could play out from the back like Neuer. Probably didn't do it as much and take as many risks, but in terms of just intelligent goalkeeping, another one that was like Seaman in terms of calmness. Wasn't irrational in the goal, didn't ever panic, and it got him out of tough spots, and ultimately was a deciding factor in winning things with his clubs. And I never saw him panic, Van der Sar. So a great keeper, come through that Ajax system as well. Van der Sar, number 3. Number 2, Gianluigi Buffon. Only recently retired. When you talk about consistency and hardly ever injured, I don't think there's anyone better than Buffon. Like, the amount of years he's been at it, went into his 40s before he retired, and kept his body in condition to play at such an elite high level. You can do nothing but applaud it. Again, similar to Khan and Neuer, I think he should be winning a bit more than he did with his country at times, but it's not down to them as individuals. I still feel that they've done their bit, but obviously not all the rest of the squad has. But it's just a shame to see certain names on it that didn't win as much as they could have and probably should have. And Buffon is another one for them, for me. But just as I said, the longevity in the guy, the best ever in my opinion, and a great keeper. Even to going into just before he retired, he still looked like he was good with reflexes. He was quick still in terms of the reflexes and judgment, positioning of the goal, and a great keeper, and one that I think everyone will remember for a long time. So Gianluigi Buffon, number 2. And number 1, Peter Schmeichel. Was a beast in goal. Something that was alien-like to football when he came in. And he got it from like a handball background, I remember hearing, in terms of the angles he covered in the goal that no one had ever really seen. How he spread his body like a sort of starfish that would narrow the angle of the space for the opponent to strike into. Just made the goal look miniature. And he was a big guy anyway, but when he spreading himself like that, and it would intimidate opponents and it would get into their heads, and he's another one similar to Khan that had that intimidation factor thing he had between him and Ian Wright in a game where they went for like a 50-50, and Wright might have been a little bit late on him, but he didn't back away and didn't back off. He was brave, and he used to be very aggressive. Again, another one that couldn't really do that modern. He wouldn't be a modern keeper in terms of playing out from the back, but in terms of shot stopping and telling his defence what he wants from him and demanding standards and things and not shying away, I don't think there's anyone better than him in history of football. So for me, the greatest ever Premier League goalkeeper. Yes, he might have had flaws in terms of passing out from the back. He didn't have that to his ammo, but at the time that he played, he didn't really need it. And the titles show that as well. So won a Euros as well with his country. And yeah, won countless things with United too. So a part of that treble winning squad. And such a vital leader in that dressing room, even when he wasn't captain. I know he wore the captain armband on a few occasions. And went on to have a decent career after United as well. So, for me, Peter Schmeichel, the best ever for me. And he has to be number 1 on this list. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 all-time goalkeepers. Let me know yours in the list. And before I go, 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of June. June is getting very close now, and I've still got a little while to go in terms of reaching that target. So please subscribe, please come and support me on the journey and get involved in the community in the comments. As I said, even if you don't come and speak to me, come and speak to each other in the comments. That's what it's for, to share footballing ideas and the passion and love for the game that we have. That's why I do this channel. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my top 10, guys. Let me know yours in the comments, and I'll be back soon with another video.